May 1940, Adolf Hitler stood at the peak of power. France had fallen in 6 weeks. All of Europe trembled. The Nazi war machine seemed unstoppable. 5 years later, Berlin lay in ruins. Hitler was dead. The Reich that would last 1,000 years had collapsed in 12. How did the most powerful military force on earth go from unstoppable to utterly destroyed? The answer reveals something profound about power, hubris, and why evil always contains the seeds of its own destruction. Hitler's first mistake? He believed his own propaganda. At Dunkirk, he let 338,000 British soldiers escape. They're defeated anyway, he thought. Those same soldiers would return to fight him on D-Day. He invaded the Soviet Union with 3 million men, but no winter clothing. "We'll win before the snow falls," he promised. They didn't. German soldiers froze to death in summer uniforms while temperatures hit -40 degrees. At Stalingrad, Hitler refused to let his trapped army retreat. "Hold your ground," he ordered. 91,000 men surrendered. Only 6,000 would ever see home again. 4 days after Pearl Harbor, he declared war on the United States. Not because he had to, but because he underestimated American power. Every decision showed the same fatal flaw. Hitler believed he was destined to win. He ignored reality. He dismissed his generals. He refused to adapt. But here's the deeper truth. Hitler was fighting a war he could never win. Germany's economy was smaller than Britain's alone. When America entered, the Allies had 10 times Germany's industrial capacity. Germany had no oil, no rubber, limited steel. The unstoppable Wehrmacht was actually powered by horses, over 750,000 of them. While propaganda showed modern tanks, most supplies moved by horse-drawn carts. The Soviet Union had moved its factories beyond the Urals, out of bomber range. They produced more tanks in 1 year than Germany produced in the entire war. The mathematics were impossible. Germany needed to win fast and completely, or be crushed by sheer industrial power. Hitler chose to fight Britain, Russia, and America simultaneously. He chose ideology over strategy. He chose pride over survival. So why did Hitler lose? Because evil is not strategic, because arrogance blinds. The Battle of Stalingrad alone killed more people than America lost in the entire war. The city became hell on earth. The siege lasted 200 days. The city became hell on earth. But the Soviets never surrendered. The French resistance. The British standing alone after Dunkirk. The Americans crossing the Atlantic to fight tyranny. Hitler thought he was fighting nations. He was actually fighting the human spirit's refusal to be conquered. He thought might made right. He discovered that right creates might. He learned that free people fighting for survival are unbreakable. By April 1945, Soviet soldiers were fighting in the streets of Berlin. Hitler, hiding in a bunker, still issuing orders to armies that no longer existed, shot himself rather than face the consequences. The war cost 70 million lives, but it proved something eternal. That tyranny carries within it the guarantee of its own defeat. Hitler lost because he was always going to lose. The moment he chose hatred over humanity, his defeat became inevitable. The real lesson is this: every generation faces the choice between building or destroying, between unity or division. I'm Tim, watching the past so we can understand the present. Together we keep history reborn. I'll see you in the next era.